Audie Murphy was born on June 20, 1925, in Kingston, Texas, into a life already shaped by hardship. He was one of 12 children in a family trapped in extreme poverty. His father abandoned the family early, leaving his mother, Josie Belle Murphy, to hold everything together through faith, sacrifice, and relentless work. From an early age, Audie learned a harsh truth. Survival was never guaranteed. Food was scarce, school was secondary. Responsibility came early. As a boy, Audie learned to hunt with an old rifle, not as a pastime, but as a necessity. Rabbits and squirrels meant his younger siblings would eat. Missed shots meant hunger. That rifle taught him patience, discipline, and precision long before war ever would. When Audie was 16, his mother died. With her death, what remained of his childhood ended. His younger siblings were sent to orphanages. Audie dropped out of school permanently. He worked odd jobs, lived with relatives, and carried a quiet sense of loss that would never fully leave him. Then came December 7, 1941. The attack on Pearl Harbor was not just a military event. For Audie Murphy, it was a moment of direction. America was at war, and he wanted to serve. Not for glory, not for recognition, but because the war offered something his life had lacked: purpose. But the military did not want him. Audie was too young, too small, and underweight. The Navy rejected him. The Marine Corps rejected him. The Army Air Forces rejected him. Each refusal was the same. He did not meet the standards. Audie refused to accept that answer. With the help of his sister, he falsified his age. In 1942, the U.S. Army finally accepted him. He was assigned as an infantryman, the most dangerous role in the European theater of operations. Learning war after basic training, Audie Murphy was sent overseas. First to North Africa, then to Sicily in 1943. Combat came quickly and without ceremony. There were no speeches, no dramatic charges. There was noise, confusion, dust, and sudden death. Men were killed without warning. Orders were shouted, lost, and misunderstood. Fear was constant. Audie did not panic. He observed. He learned that hesitation could be fatal. But recklessness was worse. He learned to move when others froze, to fire only when necessary, and to make every shot count. He understood that survival depended not on size or strength, but on awareness and control. In Italy, the fighting intensified. The terrain favored the defender, and German units were experienced and disciplined. Officers were killed. Units became disorganized. In these moments, Audie Murphy repeatedly stepped forward without being ordered, gathering men, re-establishing direction, and pushing forward under fire. He did not seek command. He accepted responsibility when no one else could. By 1944, he had already been wounded in action. He refused evacuation and returned to the front as soon as possible. This pattern would repeat itself throughout the war. France and recognition after the Allied landings in southern France. Audie Murphy fought with the 3rd Infantry Division as American forces advanced northward. The war became fast-moving and unpredictable. Forests, villages, open fields, and sudden ambushes. It was in France that Murphy's actions began to draw serious attention. During one engagement, he advanced alone under enemy fire to eliminate a German machine gun position, killing several enemy soldiers and capturing others. In another, he crossed open ground repeatedly to deliver critical messages after communications had failed. Promotions came rapidly. Decorations followed. But so did the cost. Audie accumulated multiple wounds, concussions, and exhaustion. Sleep was scarce. His nerves were constantly strained. The war was no longer something he did. It was something he carried. Holzwar, January 26, 1945. The defining moment came in the winter of 1945, near the village of Holzwar, France. Snow covered the ground. The cold was severe. German forces launched a counterattack supported by tanks and infantry. Audie Murphy's unit was holding a defensive position that was thin, exposed, and dangerously vulnerable. As the attack intensified, Murphy realized the line would collapse. He ordered his men to withdraw to safer positions. He stayed behind. Nearby, a U.S. tank destroyer had been hit and was burning. Its ammunition was exploding inside the vehicle. Any moment, it could detonate completely. Audie Murphy climbed onto it, alone. He mounted the .50 caliber machine gun and opened fire on advancing German infantry. From his exposed position, he fired continuously, adjusting targets, suppressing the attack, and directing artillery fire by radio at the same time. Shrapnel tore into his legs. Smoke surrounded him. The cold numbed his hands. He continued firing for nearly an hour. Audie Murphy held the position by himself. The German attack faltered, believing they faced too much. Strong a force, the enemy withdrew. When Murphy finally rejoined his men, he collapsed from his wounds and exhaustion. The position had been held. For this action, Audie Murphy was awarded the Medal of Honor. After the war, by the end of World War II, Audie Murphy was the most decorated American combat soldier of the war. He had received nearly every major U.S. and foreign military award available to an infantryman. He was 19 years old. America celebrated him as a hero. Newspapers told his story. Hollywood offered him roles. He eventually became a movie star, even portraying himself on screen. But the war never truly ended for Audie Murphy. He suffered from severe nightmares, insomnia, and emotional instability, what would later be recognized as post-traumatic stress disorder. He slept with a loaded gun under his pillow. He struggled with dependency on medication. And like many of his time, he spoke openly about the psychological cost of war, advocating for veterans who carried invisible wounds. Audie Murphy died on May 28, 1971, at the age of 45, in a plane crash in Virginia. He was buried at Arlington National Cemetery. At his own request, his grave was simple, without special honors. Today, it remains one of the most visited graves in Arlington. Not because he loved war, not because he sought fame, but because when fear, chaos, and responsibility converged, Audie Murphy did not step back. He was not born a hero. He was shaped by hardship, necessity, and moments when standing firm was the only option left. And that is why his story endures.